What's up, guys? We're back with a full slate of MLB action here on Wednesday, May 28th. We're going to give out plays on every MLB game on the slate and our Western Conference Finals game between the Timberwolves and Thunder. I'll give you my dog of the day and pick out my massive lock, my pick that regardless of price, I think has the highest chance of cashing today. Slam that like button and subscribe to the channel if you want to keep seeing these videos every single day, and let us know what you're thinking in the comments. I personally answer every comment every single day. Check the pinned comment throughout the day to see our favorite picks, and it pays to check back a couple of times per day to see if there are any changes with injury news coming out and starters being confirmed. Yesterday, guys, got off to an amazing start. We had the Phillies at minus 115. That was a comfortable 2-0 win for them. Suarez was dominant in that game. The Phillies put up just enough offense to get the job done. We had the under there in the Twins Tampa Bay Rays game. Under 8.5 came through easily. A 4-2 win there for Tampa Bay. Even that run in the 8th inning couldn't screw us over this time. So a 2-0 start today. Unfortunately, we had the Royals at minus 105. They couldn't hold that early lead. The bullpen start looked terrible, and Singer managed to pitch his way out of trouble, and the Reds take that 7-2 win. We had TJ McConnell over 8.5 points. He was 3 of 4 from the field, but only 6 points scored in the game. Didn't really feel like he was looking for his shot as much in this one. So yeah, a little bit annoying there. This is the first time he hasn't made it over this total, I think, in the entire series, maybe in the last 2 series. I don't know. So annoying stuff there. Now we've still got 2 plays live. We've got the Washington Nationals at plus 130 as our dog of the day. We've got the Diamondbacks at minus 250 as our massive lock of the day. We'll see how those play out, guys, but we're going to go ahead and jump in and start breaking down a very crowded Wednesday slate. First up, guys, looking at the Chicago White Sox going on the road to take on the New York Mets. The White Sox come into this game, guys, fresh off of a 6-4 loss there in game 1 of this series. Obviously, not looking like another, not a super fun series coming up, or not a super fun season coming up for the White Sox. They're hitting the ball in this game to Shane Smith, who's 1-3 on the year, a 2.36 ERA. He's actually been looking fairly decent out there, generally speaking, but his start against the Cubs, a little bit of fake news. 5 innings, 7 hits allowed, 6 runs, but only 1 of them was earned. His start after that, his last time out, got shelled a little bit by the Mariners. I mean, not terrible, giving up 3 earned runs in 5 innings, but we do notice that the White Sox are 0-5 over his last 5 starts, so that's not great. Neither is their bullpen, a 4.60 bullpen ERA, among the worst, 8 or so bullpens in the majors at least. And the offense, not exactly on fire, guys. They did score 4 runs in their last game, but they are 26th in the majors in runs scored, second to last in the majors in batting average, second to last in slugging percentage. You kind of get where I'm going with this, guys. Not exactly a scary offensive team. So we'll see what they can do here against the New York Mets, who are 34-21 on the year. They've won 4 in a row. They won game 1 of this series 2-1. They won game 2 6-4. They're hitting the ball here to Griffin Canning, who's 5-1 this season, a 2.88 ERA. He's fresh off of a very short, very weird outing there against the Dodgers. He only went 2 2/3 innings, gave up 1 hit, but 3 earned runs and walked 4. So yeah, clearly just not himself in that game. So I'm looking at this as a pretty big bounce back spot, especially since he's about to go up against a terrible offense. The last time he faced a bad offense, I guess, was the Nationals, and he blanked them over 5 innings. But really, the last time he faced a bad offense, it's a little bit hard to tell. But generally speaking, Griffin Canning's been very, very good this year. No doubt about that. So has that Mets bullpen, guys. 3rd best in the majors, a 2.81 bullpen ERA. And the offense, as everyone knows, is pretty darn good, guys. They are only 13th in the majors in runs scored, but they are 7th in on-base percentage and top 10 in slugging percentage. A lot of scary bats in that New York Mets lineup. So I'm expecting them to do something good here. Even if Shane Smith has an amazing day, they'll find their way on the board against that White Sox bullpen. And the White Sox, guys, they're plus 205 in this game. The Mets are minus 250. We've got a total of 7.5. The White Sox are only 5-22 on the road. They're 16-10-1 to the under on the road. The Mets are 20-6 at home this year. That's an MLB best mark at home this season. They are 16-8-2 to the under at home. So even with a total here of only 7.5, we maybe have to consider the under, but I'm not in love with that spot. I definitely like the Mets here at minus 250 quite a bit. Now, it's a day game, so that makes it maybe a little bit weird, but I'm certainly considering the New York Mets here as our lock of the day at minus 250, especially having Griffin Canning on the mound. Next on the docket, guys, we're looking at the LA Dodgers going on the road to take on the Cleveland Guardians. We've seen the Dodgers win each of the first 2 games of this series. Ohtani hitting his 20th home run here. The dude is absolutely on fire. The Dodgers 34-21 this year. Yeah, they are cruising despite having a bunch of injuries to their rotation, all kinds of stuff. Still doing okay. They're handing the ball here to Clayton Kershaw, who's going to be making his 3rd start of the year. Now, it's been a bit of a mixed bag, and it's been a little bit weird just in general. Now, his first outing was against the Angels. 4 innings, 5 hits, 5 earned runs allowed, and an 11-9 loss for the Dodgers. His next time out only pitched 2 innings there against the Mets, but he was very good. Struck out 1, walked 1, and gave up no runs and no hits. So, which version of Kershaw are we going to see? a bit unclear. How many innings is this mediocre Dodgers bullpen going to have to eat up? Also a little bit unclear. Now, I don't think this bullpen's actually bad. I mean, they're currently kind of middle of the pack, a 3.80 bullpen ERA, but I think in the end, they're going to be a pretty good unit overall. So we'll see what happens there. I'm not going to hold my breath on this one. Now, the Dodgers, they're taking on the Cleveland Guardians, who are 29-25 on the year. They have lost 3 in a row. We don't have a confirmed starter as of right now for Cleveland, which is a little bit weird, a little bit of an interesting situation. Now, over the course of the year, their rotation has not been great. They're 28th in the majors in quality starts. They are 22nd in the majors in batting average against. They're 24th in WHIP. I don't think this is really a rotation or really even a bullpen that I get too excited about. Last year, Cleveland, an amazing bullpen. This year, a 4.01 bullpen ERA. Very concerning stuff. Now, the offense for the Guardians also hasn't been great. I mean, 5, 2, 0, 7, and 3 runs over their last few is honestly a little bit better than what they've been doing over the course of the year. Over the season, guys, they're 23rd in the majors in runs scored, 25th in batting average. So definitely not a great offense. Now, looking at the numbers for this game, I'm a little bit surprised here to see it fairly coin flippy. The Dodgers are minus 135. The Guardians are plus 115. We've got a total of 9 in this game. The Dodgers are 12-13 on the road, 13-12 to the under on the road. Cleveland 14-9 at home, 13-9-1 to the under at home. Is Cleveland going to lose 3 straight? Well, it kind of depends on the pitching situation, guys. So I can't give you a huge lean on this one. I will say that I'm leaning just slightly here towards the Dodgers with Kershaw on the mound, but given his recent struggles and everything we've seen, not much of a big lean here. I'll also maybe take the under theoretically, but not a whole lot can be said about this game in a concrete way until we see who's starting for the Guardians. Jumping in here, guys, with a quick shout out to the sponsor of our video, and that is StumpTheSpread.com. Click the link in the description to go over there and see the top confidence picks from our entire team of experienced cappers. Right now, our premium members are getting daily MLB, NBA, NHL, and UFC picks. Major League Baseball has been our most profitable sport the last 3 years running and is coming off of a great day there yesterday, going 4-1 overall. Our premium capper for MLB, which is not me, guys, was definitely on one. He had the Orioles, so that was his lone loss of the day, but he cashed the Tigers, the Phillies, the Twins, and the Reds, a very solid 4-1 day. And you'll notice that Reds pick was actually the opposite of what I was thinking. I was thinking the Royals would have a good bullpen start. He was on the money about Singer having a good outing, and he's on the right side of a 7-2 game that I ended up being on the wrong side of. So definitely worthwhile. Get over there, check out those premium picks, see if there's a package that's right for you. You wanted to sign up for a premium package. Also, guys, just get over there for the free stuff you can get on our free email newsletter. There'll be great information in there every single day. You'll get one email straight to your inbox. You'll have free picks in that email, parlays often in that email, information on niche sports like golf, NASCAR, tennis, all kinds of crazy stuff. You name it, there's a possibility it could end up in that newsletter. Oh, also UFC is a big one that ends up in there all the time. So definitely consider signing up for that email newsletter. It's a great resource. And, like I said, their free picks over there, our free bets, our bet size calculator, all kinds of good stuff in there. It's definitely worth checking out StumpTheSpread.com. Also, if you're a huge fan of what we do here every single day, click that little join button below the video to sign up for a channel membership. Channel members are eligible for our members-only giveaways. We'll be giving away 2 pieces of Stump the Spread merch in June. We'll be giving away our first piece, a hoodie or t-shirt, whichever you would like. Whoever wins the giveaway can choose on June 7th. And then we'll be doing another giveaway probably around June 21st. So maybe it'll matter which day of the week. I don't know. We'll see. But somewhere around the 3rd week of June, we'll also be doing a giveaway. And we're hovering around 80 channel members now. If we get up a little bit above that, I'll say if we get to 85 channel members, I'll up it to 3 giveaways in the month of June. So let's see if we can make that happen. Also, members get early access to all of my videos and get their names up on screen like you've been seeing right now. But guys, we've got a very crowded Wednesday slate of baseball to get through. So let's go ahead and hop into our next game. That's the San Francisco Giants going on the road to take on the Detroit Tigers. The Giants come into this game fresh off of a 3-1 loss there in Game 2 of this series, losing each of the first 2 games of the series 3-1, probably a little bit tilting. They're 31-24 on the year, handing the ball here to Landon Roop, who's 3-3 this season, a 3.63 ERA. His last couple of starts have been pretty dominant, though, guys. Shut down the Athletics, giving up no runs over 6 innings on 5 hits, then shutting down the Nationals, giving up 0 runs on 5 hits over 6 innings in that one as well. Both games were wins for the Giants, so very good stuff there. We'll see how he fares here against the Tigers. Obviously not the easiest opponent on the docket, but I think we have to be relatively happy with what he's looking like recently, even if it's against a couple pretty mediocre offenses. Now, the Giants bullpen, absolutely no joke. A 2.53 bullpen ERA is pretty dominant stuff. The offense is where the problems start to crop up for this team, guys. They've scored 1-1, 3-0, and 4 runs over their last few games. that's not going to get the job done. They're 10th in the majors in runs scored due to some big outlier performances earlier in the season, but 24th in batting average, batting 231 as a team, 22nd in slugging percentage, 376 slugging percentage. Nothing to get too excited about. So definitely room for concern here about this offense. So we'll see what they can do against the Detroit Tigers, who have now won 3 in a row. They're handing the ball in this game to Jackson Jobe. This young 22-year-old's been pretty solid in the majors so far this year. He's 4-1, a 4.06 ERA, showing that like most young starters, he can have those hiccup kind of performances. But his last 3 starts have been excellent, giving up 2 earned runs against Cleveland, 2 earned runs against Toronto, and 1 earned run against Boston. We see the Tigers are 2-1 over that span, and really, the young guy's been as good as you could possibly ask any 22-year-old to be out there on the big league mound. So loving what we're seeing right now from Jackson Jobe. Also liking what we're seeing from the Detroit bullpen. A 3.35 bullpen ERA is 7th in the majors. And the offense for the Tigers has looked much, much better this year than it's looked in seasons past, guys. Riley Green doing his thing. They're 4th in the majors in runs scored, though 8th in on-base percentage, 10th in batting average. Like, this could very conceivably be a, top 10, maybe top 8, something like that offense in the majors this year. And that is a huge upgrade over what we were seeing from Detroit a season ago. So, looking at the numbers for this game, we see the Giants at -105, the Tigers at -115. We've got a total of 8. The Giants are a 500 team on the road. They're 16-11-1 to the over on the road. Detroit is 19-8 at home, so a very good home team. They are 15-9-3 to the under at home. Given what we've seen in this series and from Detroit recently and from San Francisco recently, I think under 8 is extremely live in this game. Now, you could say maybe these teams are due for some, sort of big offensive explosion. And I'm not going to say that's impossible, but I find it very unlikely it happens. With these two guys on the mound, with these two bullpens, I think we're going to see offense be at an absolute premium. So go ahead and give me the under 8 in this game for sure. I could also wrap my head around the Tigers to sweep here or the Giants to, avoid the sweep. So not really a spot I love on the side, but under 8 could definitely make it in the pinned comment. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Boston Red Sox going on the road to take on the Milwaukee Brewers. The Red Sox come to this game losers of 4 in a row. They're having a really rough time. They're down to 27-30 on the year. Handing the ball to Brian Bello, who is 2-1 this season, but a 4.08 ERA. He's fresh off a decent but short start there against Baltimore, and giving up 6 hits and 2 earned runs over 4 innings is nothing special. Now, the Red Sox did win that game 19-5, but that is not what the offense has been looking like recently. So we'll see what he can get after here against the Brewers, who haven't been a super hard-hitting team, but they've been hitting the ball a little bit recently. Now, that Boston bullpen, a 3.69 bullpen ERA, not the end of the world, but also not the best. The offense has really, really been struggling, guys. It's been pretty nuts, if I'm being honest. They've scored 1, 2, 1, and 1 runs over their last 4 games. No shocker, all of those were losses. Alex Bregman being out has been a huge, huge problem for this offense. We'll see how long he's out for, but it's not looking great. Now, maybe the offense has, some scary bats in there still, but it's not looking like that at the moment. So we'll see what they can get done against the Brewers, who've won 3 in a row now. They're handing the ball in this game to Freddie Peralta, who's 5-3 this season, a 2.55 ERA. He's coming off of a mediocre start against the Pirates of all teams. That doesn't make me feel great. 4 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs allowed, 1 earned run, gave up a home run in that game. It just doesn't feel great. He also had 3 walks, and he's had 3, 2, and 3 walks over his last 3 starts. It just doesn't feel like he's had his best stuff recently. So we'll see what he can do here against the cold-hitting Red Sox. The bullpen for the Brewers is showing signs of improvement, but a 4.71 bullpen ERA is terrible. And the offense, maybe it's coming alive a little bit. Yelich walking off of the grand slam in the bottom of the 10th looks good, but also tells me, the Brewers almost lost that game. So we'll see what goes on in this one. Not thrilled about the Brewers at the plate, but they're not a disaster. Looking at the numbers, the Red Sox are plus 135. The Brewers are minus 160. We've got a total of 8 in this game. Boston, 11-15 on the road, 14-12 to the over on the road. Milwaukee, 16-10 at home, 16-9-1 to the under at home. Guys, I know the Red Sox are supposed to be on the banned list, but I'm not loving what I'm seeing from Freddie Peralta recently. I don't necessarily think the Red Sox are going to lose 3 straight here to the Milwaukee Brewers. I'm not hating what I'm seeing from Brian Bello. The Red Sox bullpen's pretty good. Their offense isn't going to score this, few runs for this long. Eventually they got to bounce back. So the Red Sox at plus 135, actually going to make it onto the list as a potential dog of the day. Don't get mad at me. If you guys want to skip the dog of the day, if you don't like it, feel encouraged to skip it. It's not always going to be some crazy lock. It's an underdog. That's the reason. That's how it works. But I do think the Red Sox at plus 135, probably the value side in this one. Next up, guys, you're looking at the Minnesota Twins going on the road to take on the Tampa Bay Rays. The Twins come into this game fresh off a 4-2 win in Game 2 of this series. They're hitting the ball to Pablo Lopez, who's 4-2 on the year, a 2.31 ERA, not too shabby. He's fresh off a decent start against the Royals. Now, he did give up 7 hits, but struck out 5 and gave up only 1 earned run in a 3-1 win. Also, the Twins are 4-0 over his last 4 starts, so that's all pretty positive stuff. The Twins' bullpen, 4th best in the majors, a 3.19 bullpen ERA. Not going to be complaining about that. The offense has had a little bit of a rough time recently. I mean, 4, 2, 1, 5, and 3 runs over their last few. Definitely not the best they've swung the bats this season, but they're only 22nd in the majors in runs scored and 20th in batting average. Not really a dominant style offense. So we'll see what they can do over the course of the year in terms of, at the plate, but I'm not expecting miracles. Now, they're going up against a Tampa Bay Rays team that just had a, 6-game winning streak snapped there, so that's a little bit tough for them. But they seem like they maybe are turning things around. They're handing the ball here to Drew Rasmussen, who's 3-4 in the year, a 2.60 ERA. His last 2 starts have been dazzling, guys. 6 innings in each start, 4 hits allowed in each start, and 0 runs allowed in each start, both of which happen to be Tampa Bay Ray wins. So very, very good stuff there. We'll see what he looks like against the Twins, not a team he's faced this season, but Rasmussen definitely throwing the ball well recently. Starts against Toronto and Miami being so dominant. Let's not freak out too much, but it's not like the Twins are some offensive powerhouse. The Tampa Bay bullpen has also been solid this season. A 3.31 bullpen ERA has them 6th best in the majors. And their offense, while it did look decent at some points during that hot hitting streak, is not amazing. They're 17th in the majors in runs scored, 19th in on-base percentage. Brandon Lowe's done some good stuff this year, I suppose, but yeah, just overall not necessarily a lineup that's going to get you super scared when you see him come to the plate. So looking at the numbers for this game, it's a coin flip according to the odds makers. We've got a total here of 8. Minnesota 11-16 on the road, 15-9-3 to the under on the road. Tampa Bay 17-8 at home, 19-3-3 to the under at home. Once again, guys, I think this is a very good spot to look at the under. I've loved what both pitchers are doing here recently. Both bullpens are excellent. Neither offense is very good, so I think we see a very low total in this game as well. So definitely sign me up for under 8. If you're begging me for a side in this game, I do think there's a decent chance Tampa Bay bounces back a little bit with Rasmussen on the mound, but not a side that I'm particularly interested in. Rolling right along here, guys, we're looking at the Sacramento Athletics going on the road to take on the Houston Astros. The Athletics come into this game fresh off an 11-1 loss there in Game 1 of this series. Now, I wanted to take Hunter Brown and the Astros. I just didn't pull the trigger on it, and they get the very comfortable win. Now, the Athletics hitting the ball in this one to Luis Severino. He's 1-4 this year, a 4.11 ERA. His last start, he was very good against the Angels, and the start for that, he was very good against the Giants. So maybe he's turning a bit of a corner here. We'll see what he can do against the Astros. Not a team that he's faced yet this season, so we'll see how that goes. Even if he's good, though, that Athletic bullpen is going to come out there, and a 6.01 bullpen ERA. Pretty much embarrassingly bad at this point, and the offense has fallen off a cliff here in the later part of the season. I mean, obviously it's the later part of the season, but the early goings, they were looking amazing. Now they're looking pretty middle of the road. They're 14th in runs scored, 6th in batting average, 6th in slugging percentage, but those are all numbers that are pretty drastically on the fall. So we'll see what they look like here against the Astros, who come into this game 29-25 on the year, winners of 4 out of their last 5. They're handing the ball to Lance McCullers Jr., who's 0-1 this year, a 6.57 ERA. His last start, looking a little bit better, I guess, his last couple, but not really amazing. I mean, 4 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs against the Mariners. It was a 9-2 win there for the Astros, but I'm not super sold on this guy. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if he really belongs in the starting rotation, if I'm being honest. Now, once he comes out of the game, the bullpen for Houston's been amazing. A 2.75 bullpen ERA, very, very legitimate stuff there. And the offense maybe turning things on a little bit now. I mean, 11, 5, 2, 3, and 9 runs over their last few is better than they've looked most of the season so far. They're still only 20th in the majors in runs scored and 19th in slugging percentage. Now, they're a pretty good batting average team, so there's room for this offense to improve significantly, but we'll see if they're actually able to do that here against Luis Severino, who's been throwing the ball pretty well. Now, looking at the numbers for this game, the Athletics are plus 110, the Astros are minus 130. We've got a total of 8.5. The Athletics are 2 games above 500 on the road this year. They're 12-10-4 to the under on the road. Houston is 18-10 at home, 17-11 to the under at home. I'm not pulling the trigger on under 8.5 in this game. No way. I would maybe lean a little bit towards the over 8.5 if anything, because both of these teams are theoretically capable of hitting the ball pretty hard. Now, in terms of a side, I'm leaning a bit towards the Athletics here at plus 110. Severino's been so freaking good recently. The Athletics have been bad overall in their last pretty big sample size here, but I do think they're capable of winning a game in this series, and with Severino on the mound, this could definitely be the spot that happens. Next up, guys, we're looking at the Pittsburgh Pirates going on the road to take on the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Pirates and Diamondbacks are playing right now. We actually have Arizona as our massive lock of the day, and they're up 6-0 in the bottom of the fifth inning. So a good start to the game, but we all know that no lead is necessarily safe when you got the Diamondbacks out there. So we'll see how things go with that one. The Pirates handing the ball in this game to Paul Skeens, who's 3-5 this season, a 2.36 ERA. Obviously, the dude's going out there and putting up just electric numbers, throwing the ball incredibly hard, incredibly tricky. Like, he is a monster, but his team is terrible. Over his last 3 starts, he's allowed a grand total of 1 earned run in each one of those games, and his team is 1-2 in those games. And the one game they won was a 6-5 extra inning win. So we'll see what kind of support they're able to come up with for Skeens in this game. We'll see if the Pirates bullpen's able to improve at all. A 4.52 bullpen ERA, pretty freaking bad, and the offense is not much better. Currently getting shut out in their game. What is that, game 2 of this series? And I mean, nobody hitting the ball well. They're last in the majors in runs scored. They are third to last in batting average. They're dead last in slugging percentage. This is probably the worst offense in the majors, so that's kind of embarrassing. We'll see what they can do here against the Diamondbacks. Obviously not the worst offense in the majors. They're handing the ball in this game to Zach Gallen, who's 3-6 this year, a 5.25 ERA, so not great. He's given up at least 4 earned runs over his last 3 games, all of which have been losses for the Diamondbacks. That starts against St. Louis, Colorado, and the Dodgers. So we'll see if he can get back on track, but I'm not loving what I'm seeing from Zach Gallen right now. Haven't loved what I've seen from the Diamondbacks bullpen all year long. They're the 5th worst bullpen in the majors. A 5.17 bullpen ERA will do that to you. The offense has been a little bit all over the place recently. Obviously, they put up 6 runs in their current game, 5 the game before that, so they're not a terrible offensive team. Even when they're slumping, they're still 5th in the majors in runs scored and 5th in on-base percentage, and I think it's pretty clear this is going to be a top 5 or 6 offense in the majors at the end of the year. So looking at the numbers here, the Pirates are plus 110. The Diamondbacks are minus 130. We've got a total of 7.5. The Pirates are 6-20 on the road this year. They're 17-7-2 to the under on the road. Arizona is 14-3 this season at home. So 14-13 this season at home. 15-9-3 to the under at home. This is a little bit of a weird spot, only thanks to Paul Skeens being on the mound. That's why it's such a close number, but I think we're probably going to end up at least slightly fading the Pirates here and taking the Diamondbacks at minus 130, because while Skeens is amazing, he's only going to be out there, some amount. And even if he gives up no runs, that Pirates bullpen could let you down immediately. Now, this isn't a game that's going in the pin common or anything like that, and I'd love to be backing Skeens here as an underdog, but the Pirates are just so bad, and it's, there's every possibility he could get literally 0 runs of support. Next on the docket, we have the Miami Marlins going on the road to take on the San Diego Padres. These two teams are locked in a dogfight right now. They're in the bottom of the 5th inning with things tied up at 6 apiece. So a very entertaining game there in San Diego. Now the Marlins here in game 3 of this series are going to hand the ball to Sandy Alcantara. He's 2-7 this year, an 8.04 ERA. He got shelled by the Angels his last time out and has given up at least 4 earned runs in each of his last 5 starts. Also, the Marlins, a terrible team albeit, are 0-5 over his last 5 starts, including a game against the White Sox where he gave up 4 earned runs on 7 hits over 5 2/3 innings. This dude's bad. Kind of surprised that he's even holding on to his spot in the rotation at this point. It is not working out right now. The Marlins bullpen, not helpful either. A 4.85 bullpen ERA is 6th worst in the MLB. And the offense, not killing the ball at all, guys. They're 21st in the majors in runs scored. They are 12th in batting average, but they've scored what? They've scored 6 in their current game, better than usual, but 3, 3, 6, 4, and 1 over the few games before that. So not loving the Marlins right now. They're taking on the Padres, who come into this game 30-22 on the year. They've been on the banned list for a while, but they've won their last 2 in a row. They're putting up some offense in their current game. They're handing the ball in this one to Kyle Hart, who's 2-2 on the year, a 6.00 ERA. His last start was a little bit better. Good outing there at Detroit. 4 1/3 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs in that one. So not going to talk a lot of crap. 2 out of his last 3 starts have actually been pretty solid, but these starts, guys, happened a month ago. He's coming off the IL, or did they send him down? What happened? I am not sure what happened. Oh, I guess he got sent down? Very weird stuff. Okay, so Kyle Hart coming back up to make a start here. We'll see what we get from him. Definitely not somebody I'm super thrilled about. The Padres bullpen's been decent this year, but not elite, at least for the last month or so. A 3.39 bullpen ERA, though, still not terrible. The offense had completely disappeared. Seems like it's back. Guys putting up 6, 4, and 5 runs over their last few games. Machado doing some cool stuff recently. He's up to, what is he up to? 11 home runs or something like that. And Tatis hitting the ball relatively well, but not as well as he was early in the year. They're 18th in the majors in runs scored, 11th in batting average. So we'll see what they get after here going up against the Marlins. Now, looking at the numbers here, the Marlins are plus 140. The Padres are minus 165. Got a total of 8.5. The Marlins are 8-16 on the road this year, 14-10 to the over on the road. San Diego is 17-8 at home, 16-8-1 to the under at home. I actually think this is a very good spot to look at the over 8.5 in this game. I don't think Kyle Hart's going to be, mowing down the Marlins, especially since they're swinging the bats a little bit better. Sandy Alcantara couldn't mow down any team in the majors, so definitely think over 8.5 is live here. And I also don't hate the Padres at minus 165. Now, it's not going into the pinned comment. I will say the Padres are officially unbanned, so they could end up in the pinned comment here in the not too distant future. But I'm not trusting Kyle Hart enough in this game to take him as a minus 165 favorite. So we're going to side with the over in this game and kind of let the rest take care of itself. Next up, guys, are the St. Louis Cardinals going on the road to take on the Baltimore Orioles. The Cardinals bounced back and got a 7-4 win in Game 2 of this series. Arenado hitting a tie-breaking home run there in the 8th inning. Definitely very, very helpful. The Cardinals 31-24 on the year, handing the ball here to Miles Michaelis, who's 4-2 this season, a 3.51 ERA, having a much better year than last year. His last start was very good once again, going up against the Diamondbacks, 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run allowed. The most earned runs he's allowed in any start over his last 5 was giving up 3 earned runs against the Pirates, which is kind of wild. But other than that, he's been dominant. The Cardinals are 5-0 over his last 5 starts. We'll see what he can do here against Baltimore, but loving what we're seeing from Miles Michaelis right now. The Cardinals bullpen showing constant signs of improvement down to a 3.86 bullpen ERA. Still not amazing, but definitely not terrible. The offense continues to do its thing, guys. 7, 2, 4, 6, and 4 runs over their last few games. Nootbaar's hit the ball well. Arenado's hit the ball well. Wilson Contreras is hitting the ball well. They're 8th in the majors in runs scored, 5th in batting average, top 6 in on-base percentage. I guess the Cardinals are really legitimately a top 10 offense. So we'll see what they can get done here against the Orioles, who are 19-35 on the year. That loss snapped a little 3-game winning streak. They're going to need some bigger winning streaks than that. They're handing the ball here to Cade Povich, who's 1-3 this year, a 4.86 ERA. His last 2 starts have been very good. Now, taking advantage of the slumping Red Sox and the pretty mediocre Nationals, I'm not going to throw you a parade, but he has thrown the ball pretty well. Baltimore managed to lose both of those games, though. That is worth mentioning for sure. So we'll see what he can do here against the Cardinals. This young guy has not impressed me too much this year. Neither has the bullpen for the Baltimore Orioles, guys. A 5.45 bullpen ERA is 4th worst in the MLB, and the offense is drastically worse than it was last year. They have scored 4, 5, 5, and 2 runs over their last few games, but they're 25th in the majors in runs scored, 24th in on-base percentage. I just don't think they've got a lot of very scary bats anymore, or maybe they're just not scary this year. I don't know, but the Orioles offense is pretty darn bad. So looking at the numbers here, we see the Cardinals at plus 105, the Orioles at minus 125. We've got a total of 8.5. St. Louis is 11-16 on the road, a 500 over under team on the road. Baltimore is 9-15 at home, 14-8-2 to the over at home. Guys, the Cardinals at plus 105 could end up being our dog of the day pretty handily. Obviously, it's not a very big underdog, but it is an underdog, and St. Louis has looked very, very good every time Michaelis takes the mound, and just in general, I'm always happy to fade Cade Povich, even though he's been throwing the ball a little bit better recently. To me, that just means he's ready to have an implosion, and that Baltimore bullpen is always back there ready to be terrible. So definitely give me the Cardinals here at plus 105. Rolling right along here, guys, we're looking at the Atlanta Braves going on the road to take on the Philadelphia Phillies. Slam that thumbs up button if you guys enjoyed cashing the Phillies yesterday. That was a very solid 2-0 win for them. Suarez looking great out there. Now, the Braves come into this game losers of 5 out of their last 6. They're handing the ball here to A.J. Smith-Shawver, who's 3-2 this season, a 3.67 ERA. He got shelled by Washington his last time out, guys. By far his worst start of the season. If I remember correctly, we were on the Braves in that game, so that's a little bit embarrassing. But kind of hard to predict he was going to have such a bad outing after being so good. But when you're dealing with a 22-year-old out there on the Major League mound, you're going to have some bumps in the road. And I think he could be in for another bump in the road here going up against the Phillies. definitely feels like a possibility. That Atlanta bullpen has been solid this year, a 3.60 bullpen ERA, not a huge problem there. The offense is where the problems are for this team, guys. They've scored 0, 3, 7, 1, 7, and 3 runs over their last few games. They're 19th in the majors in runs scored. They are 14th in slugging percentage. Not running a lot of dudes up there that I'm terrified of. I mean, Ozuna has done some positive stuff this year, but not nearly as good as last year. Matt Olson is leading the team with 12 home runs, but he's only batting .234. Just not really the scariest team, if you ask me, at the plate. So we'll see what they can do here against the Phillies, who are on quite the little roll. They did lose one game there against the Athletics, but off to a good start in this series, and they're handing the ball here to Zach Wheeler, who is 6-1 this season, a 2.42 ERA. He hasn't given up an earned run in his last 3 starts in a row. That makes it 13, 19 and 2/3 innings, giving up no runs over that stretch. Pretty wild stuff. He's looked dominant, giving up 3 hits in each of his last 3 starts. Dude's looking dominant. I don't know what else to say, guys. Those are starts against the Athletics, Pirates, and Guardians. Not the most dominant teams, but he's given up a total of 4 earned runs over his last 5 starts. Like, this guy, Zach Wheeler, is back on track and looking like a monster. He has faced Atlanta once this year already and got shelled, but that was when he was struggling right there out of the gate. So I'm expecting him to be out for revenge in this start. So we'll see what happens there. The bullpen for the Phillies is always a concern, but down to a 4.53 bullpen ERA. Maybe they're improving slightly. The offense is very good. Now, they're coming off only 2 runs there, so not amazing in game 1. Harper exiting the game with that bruised elbow after getting hit by a pitch. That's a tough look. We'll see if he can come back and be okay. But Schwarber's hit the ball really well this year. Trey Turner's hit the ball really well. The Phillies are 7th in the majors in batting average, or 4th in batting average, 7th in runs scored. This is going to be a top 5, top 10 kind of offense for sure. So looking at the numbers, the Braves are plus 135. The Phillies are minus 160. We've got a total of 7.5. Atlanta only 9 and 18 on the road. 13, 12, and 2 to the under on the road. The Phillies are 17 and 8 at home. 13 and 12 to the over at home. I'll definitely take the Phillies here at minus 160. I think we're going to see very good stuff from Zach Wheeler. When A.J. Smith-Shawver, I mean, maybe he'll figure things back out and he's going to be fine in this start, but a young guy, 22 years old, when the wheels come off, they tend to come off for a couple games, and I think we could see him have a really rough time. Next up, guys, we got the Cincinnati Reds going on the road to take on the Kansas City Royals. The Reds came away with a 7-2 win in Game 2 of this series, owning the Royals so far in this series, winning both of the first 2 games comfortably. They're handing the ball here to Hunter Green, who's 4-2 this season, a 2.54 ERA. He was good, but maybe not his normal dominant self against the Cubs, and he's only pitched 7 innings combined over his last 2 starts. So we'll see if he's going to be okay. Obviously, coming off the IL there, that strained groin. Maybe they're trying to ease him back in. I do expect his pitch count to go up in this game. Now, he didn't look great against the Cubs. Maybe he'll bounce back and look really good here against the Kansas City Royals. Obviously, this is one of the best pitchers in the league. But when you're not at 100%, things tend to go a little bit differently. Now, the bullpen for the Reds has looked serviceable, but not great recently. A 4.07 bullpen ERA, a huge departure from the top 5, top 8 bullpen that we were seeing from them early on. The offense, though, finding its way all of a sudden. 7, 7, 8, and 6 runs over their last few games. Very nice stuff. They're, all the way up to 14th in the majors in batting average, 12th in on-base percentage. Elly De La Cruz is still batting over 250, and he's got 11 home runs and 40 RBIs. This dude is looking like a monster. So we'll see what they can do here on the road against the Royals, who have lost 4 out of their last 5 to fall to 29 and 27. They're handing the ball to Noah Cameron, who's 1-1 this year, a 0.93 ERA. This is only his 3rd start of the year, but he has looked crazy good through his first 3 starts, guys. Giving up no more than 1 earned run. He's given up 2 earned runs over 3 starts, and those are starts against Tampa Bay, St. Louis, and the Twins. Now, the Royals, not very good at giving him run support. They're only 1 and 2 over those starts, but he's been excellent. So expecting good stuff from him, decent stuff from the Royals bullpen, a top 8 bullpen in the majors. The offense, though, is pretty much non-existent at this point. They're all the way down to 26 in the majors in runs scored. They are 25th in slugging percentage. They've scored 2, 4, 2, 4, and 1 runs over their last few games. That's not going to cut it, guys. That's not going to cut it. So looking at the numbers here, the Reds are minus 120. The Royals are plus 100. We've got a total of 7.5. Cincinnati is 13 and 14 on the road, 15, 11, and 1 to the under on the road. Kansas City is 17 and 10 at home, 17 and 10 to the under at home. I think under 7.5 is super live in this game. Could end up being in the pinned comment if I'm being honest. Now, in terms of a side, I don't have a big lean. Maybe take the Reds. They're looking so good recently, but Noah Cameron's been way too good for me to do that. So, yeah, no real lean on the side here, but definitely think the under is super live in this game. Next on the docket, we're looking at the Colorado Rockies going on the road to take on the Chicago Cubs. The Rockies ended up losing 4-3 in extra innings there in game 2 of this series. So kind of embarrassing for the Cubs to let it be that close. The Rockies are going to hand the ball here to Tanner Gordon, who's 1-1 on the year, a 4.38 ERA. This is only his third start of the year. He got obliterated there by the Tigers and then bounced back with a decent start against the Yankees. 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs allowed, and a 3-2 win there for the Rockies. That was a pretty crazy game. Now, we'll see what he can do here against the Cubs. Not exactly the easiest nut to crack. The Rockies bullpen, nothing special either. A 4.41 bullpen ERA, not great. And the offense has been downright terrible, guys. 3-1, 4-1, and 3 runs over their last few. They are the second lowest scoring team in the majors. They are the worst batting average team, the second worst on base percentage team. You kind of see where I'm going here, guys. The Rockies at 9-46 on the year, not so good. So we'll see what they can do against the Cubs, who have won 3 in a row. They've been kind of playing with their food here against the Rockies. We'll see if they take this game a little bit more seriously. Handing the ball to Matthew Boyd, who's 4-2 on the season, a 3.42 ERA. His last start, he got knocked around there by the Reds. Gave up 8 hits over 4 innings and 4 earned runs in what was eventually a 13-6 win. But still, not his best stuff. He's been very good this year in general, so I'm expecting something of a bounce back here from Matthew Boyd. The bullpen for the Cubs, not great, but moving out of terrible territory. A 3.99 bullpen ERA definitely shows some progress. The offense is what has carried this team, guys. They've scored 4-3, 11, 4, and 13 runs over the last few games. Not hitting the cover off the ball here against the Rockies so far, but that could change pretty quick. They're the highest scoring team in the majors. They're third in on-base percentage and second in batting average. A pretty dominant offense. So looking at the numbers, I'm not surprised to see the Cubs as massive favorites. The Rockies are plus 275. The Cubs are minus 350. We've got a total of 7.5 or 8 out there. The Rockies are 3-23 on the road. That's an MLB worst road mark. They're 18-8 to the under on the road. The Cubs are 16-8 at home, 14-8-2 to the over at home. I think over 7.5 could definitely be a thing in this game. Just the Cubs could score 8 runs all on their own. Maybe check the wind direction a little bit, check on the weather a bit, but I do think over is live in this game, and I'll also take the Cubs at minus 350 or minus 1.5. Either way, I think they're in pretty good shape to win this game, thanks in part to a bounce back there from Matthew Boyd, but probably not a game that I could see myself making the lock of the day. We've got at least one other option already that I like significantly more. Next up, we're looking at the New York Yankees going on the road to take on the Los Angeles Angels. The Yankees and Angels are playing right now with New York up 3-0 in the middle of the 7th inning. The Yankees have been cruising lately, and they're going to hand the ball in this one to Clark Schmidt, who's 1-2 this year, a 4.58 ERA. His last start, not amazing against the Rockies, and the Yankees actually managed to lose that game. Start for that, he was very good against the Mets. The Yankees managed to lose that one as well. So we'll see what he can do here against the Angels. I'm expecting him to be decent, but definitely not expecting him to go out and put up a dominant start. Now, the bullpen for the Yankees has been very good, top 5 in the majors this season and very consistent. The offense has obviously been kind of off the charts. Aaron Judge doing historic things. They've scored, 3 runs in their current game, 5, 5, and 13 over their few games before that. They're tied for second in the majors in runs scored. They're first in on-base percentage, first in slugging, and third in batting average as a team. So, yeah, pretty scary offense there for the Yankees. We'll see what they can do against the Angels, who come into this game they'll be trying to avoid maybe their 4th straight loss. They're handing the ball here to Yusei Kikuchi, who's 1-4 this season, a 3.17 ERA. His last start, he was very good against the Marlins. Now, he did give up 7 hits, but no runs in that game. And we see the Angels are actually 4-0 over his last 4 starts, and that's including wins against Miami, the Dodgers, the Padres, and the Toronto Blue Jays. So, seems like Yusei Kikuchi is back on track. Now, even if he's very good, the Angels' bullpen has been the worst in the majors. So, they got to survive that. 6.36 bullpen ERA, historically bad stuff there. And the offense, I mean, it seems like it's disappeared again, guys. 0 runs through 7 innings in their current game, 1, 0, and 2 runs over their few games before that. They're 16th in the majors in runs scored, but 28th in on-base percentage, 26th in batting average. This just is not going to be a very good offense. There's really no way around that. So we'll see what they can get done in this game, guys. Looking at the numbers, the Yankees are minus 165. The Angels are plus 140. We've got a total of 9 in this game. The Yankees are 15-11 on the road, 13-11-2 to the under on the road. The Angels are 10-13 at home, 11-11-1 to the over-under at home. I think this is a pretty decent spot to look at under 9. I don't like the Angels at the plate under any circumstances. I love what Kikuchi's been doing recently, so definitely give me a look at under 9. In terms of a side, I don't know if I really want to take the Yankees, to be honest. Minus 165 with Clark Schmidt on the mound does not get me going. So maybe giving the Angels here at plus 140 as a pretty big upset, or maybe give me the Angels here plus 1.5, something like that. But really a stay away spot for me, other than that, under. In our last MLB game, before we hop over and look at that one NBA playoff game, we've got the Washington Nationals going on the road to take on the Seattle Mariners. Now, the Nationals look like they're probably going to lose their current game. We've got them as the dog of the day, and they're threatening, but it's the top of the 8th, and they're down 7-1. So not looking too hot there. Probably going to let us down as the dog of the day. There weren't a ton of great options for the dog of the day, as you will have noticed if you watched the entire video for yesterday. But the Nationals going to hand the ball here to Trevor Williams. He's 2-5 on the season, a 6.39 ERA. Pretty terrible stuff there. He's given up 5, 3, 4, 4, and 5 earned runs over his last 5 starts, and the only games over that span that the Nationals have won are games they went absolutely nuts offensively. Their bullpen's terrible, second worst in the majors, and their offense not looking so hot either. They are threatening right now, so maybe we'll get a crazy come-from-behind win there for our dog of the day, but it's not looking too great, and it hasn't looked great here for a while. So we'll see what they can do here against the Mariners, who come into this game trying to avoid their 3rd straight loss. They are in very good shape. Now, they're handing the ball in this one to George Kirby, who's 0-1 this year, a 12.27 ERA. It's only his 2nd start of the year. He got shelled by the Astros in his 1st start of the year coming off the IL. We'll see if this 27-year-old can bounce back a little bit in his 2nd start coming off the IL. So I expect him to be better, maybe not dominant here, but the bullpen should be able to pick him up a little bit. A 3.43 bullpen ERA is obviously very, very good. The offense from the Mariners has made a huge turnaround from last season. Kyle Raleigh definitely helpful there, batting .254 with 17 home runs, 17 home runs and 35 RBIs. They're tied for 10th in the majors in runs scored. I don't think they're quite that good offensively, but I think they're definitely going to be above average, and that's really a massive, massive turnaround there for Seattle. So looking at the numbers here, the Nationals are plus 170. The Mariners are minus 205. We've got a total of 8.5 or 8. Both options are still out there. Washington 11-15 on the road. 15, 10, and 1 to the under on the road. Seattle 13-11 at home. They are 13, 9, and 2 to the over at home. Guys, I'm struggling to find a lot of value in this game. George Kirby was so bad his last time out. I don't think I can really get on board with that. Trevor Williams has been so bad recently as well. So maybe just go ahead and give me over 8, which isn't actually an insane thing to do here in a Mariners game. They've been an over team at home, which is bonkers, but that has been the truth. So maybe give me a lean towards the over and maybe Washington as a crazy, crazy underdog, but really not showing a lot of value here in the last MLB game of the day. But now let's go over and hop onto our one NBA game on the slate. And that one, we've got the Minnesota Timberwolves going on the road to take on the Oklahoma City Thunder. Minnesota really let one get away there in game 4. They had every chance to win that game. They had got everything they needed from the role players and from the bench. I mean, what did we see? 40, 50, 60 something, 64 points or something like that from the bench. Naz Reid, great. Dante DiVincenzo, 5 of 8 from 3, 7-11 from the field, 21 points. Nickeil Alexander-Walker, 23 points, cashing a player prop for us there. And even Terrence Shannon Jr., 8 points. Or 9 points in 8 minutes. But we saw Anthony Edwards and Julius Randle both disappear in that game. Julius Randle only played 28 minutes, had 5 turnovers, scored 5 points. Anthony Edwards, 5 of 13 from the field, 1 of 7 from 3. Just not getting it done out there. Neither one of them. Jaden McDaniels was the best starter in that game for these Timberwolves. So we'll see what kind of bounce back we get from those two guys. The Timberwolves have to be hoping for much, much more from them. Everybody's healthy coming into this game, so kind of a put-up or shut-up situation for them here on the road. Now, the Thunder, who also come into this game looking very, very healthy, have to be pumped with what they were able to do there in Game 4. They did only win by 2, but Chet played an amazing game. No hesitation there, knocking down 2 out of 4 from 3. Jalen Williams, one of the best playoff games of his career, putting up 34 points, probably the best, actually. 6 of 9 from 3, got some very open, some weirdly open threes and knocked him down. So very good stuff there. 10 points from Caruso off the bench. As a team, Oklahoma City shot 43.2% from 3. They didn't do a great job at the free throw line, but overall just a very, very good game despite getting out-rebounded by a bit, and they come away with the win and take the dominant 3-1 series lead. So looking here at a very important Game 5, the Thunder are 8.5-point favorites at home. We've got a total of 220.5. Minnesota is 8-5 against the spread in the playoffs so far. They're 52-44 to the over this season. The Thunder are 6-5 against the spread in their last 11 playoff games. They are 53-43 2 to the over this year. I will definitely take over 220.5 in this game. I think that's very, very live in the spot. Not probably going in the pinned comment, but a play that does have a chance to go into the pinned comment here is the Timberwolves at plus 8.5. Now, their inconsistency and the ability of Ant and Julius Randle to quit on their team might keep this out of the pinned comment, but I do think the Timberwolves will keep this game competitive enough unless the refs really take over, that we will see this be a close 1 to 2 possession game down the stretch. Now, I've got some player props that I definitely like in this game, and first up, I don't think it's going to shock anybody. I like Nikhil Alexander-Walker here over 8.5 points in this game. He went off for 23 points in Game 4. Clearly, the Thunder defense is going to kind of funnel the ball away from guys like Anthony Edwards and Randall and into Nikhil Alexander-Walker's hands. He has scored 23, 12, 17, and 8 over the first 4 games of this series. I can't believe the books aren't adjusting to this a little bit more, so I'll definitely take his over on points. I also like Jaden McDaniels here, over 1.5 made threes in this game. A very good Game 4, going 3 of 6 from 3 and scoring 22 points. He's made 3, 2, 4, and 1 threes over the first 4 games of this series, kind of getting better and better from beyond the arc as the series goes on. He took 8 threes there in Game 4, a good sign, I think, for his shooting numbers going into Game 5. Guys, that's all the games we have for today. Hit that like button for good luck on all of your bets and subscribe to the channel if you're new. Let me know in the comments any questions you have on today's slate. I appreciate you watching. Make sure you're getting over to somethespread.com, get on that free email list. And I've actually got a weird request for you guys in this video. My little brother started a fishing YouTube channel. So I know there's some crossover between dudes who like to bet on baseball and dudes who like to fish. So if you enjoy fishing videos, I'm going to put my little brother's video up here on the screen. If you click on it, go over there, watch it, leave him a comment. He will be absolutely over the moon to see one of his videos finally pop off. He's getting better at YouTube. I'm not going to say he's amazing, but he's getting better. So give him a little bit of credit for putting in the work here and see if I can help him out a little bit. So click on that if you guys would like to just do me a small favor, and I will see you right back here tomorrow, same time, same place, for more sports betting action.